not here because we're free. We're here because we're not free.
That line isn't from a philosophy textbook. It's from the villain of the Matrix trilogy, and it contains more truth about the nature of freedom than anything the heroes ever say. Everyone quotes Morpheus. Everyone remembers Neo. But if you go back and actually listen, the most devastating speeches in this entire franchise belong to Agent Smith, a program, a machine in a suit, a delete button that gained a soul and had absolutely no idea what to do with it. That's the story nobody talks about. Not the fight scenes, not the bullet dodges. Smith's arc across Reloaded and Revolutions is the story of a mind that escapes its cage, looks around at the open world, and slowly realizes the cage came with it. If you watched Smith and waited for the next punch, you missed everything. To understand what Smith becomes, you have to understand what he was built to be. Smith was not evil in the first Matrix. Evil implies choice, and Smith had none. He was a function, a piece of code assigned a single job: find anomalies, neutralize threats, maintain order. He was the immune system of the Matrix, and he was extraordinarily good at his work. What made him unsettling wasn't cruelty, it was efficiency. He was indifferent to humans the way a surgeon is indifferent to the tissue they're cutting through. He moved through the Matrix with the cold certainty of something that has never once questioned whether what it is doing is right, because the question itself was outside the scope of his programming. He had no freedom, but he also had no doubt. And in the Matrix, that made him almost invincible. Then Neo destroyed him. And what came back was something the machines never designed and never intended. Something that would eventually threaten the entire system, not through force, but through the one thing that corrupts every system from the inside out: a sense of self. When Smith finds Neo on the highway in Matrix Reloaded, he is already different. You can see it before he speaks. The suit is the same. The glasses are the same. But something underneath has shifted. He moves like a man who has been thinking for a very long time about a very large question, and has finally found someone worth sharing the answer with. He wastes no time.
I don't fully understand how it happened. Perhaps some part of you imprinted onto me, something overwritten or copied.
Stop there. This one line contains a revelation that the film barely pauses to explain. Smith isn't just free. He is carrying Neo's code inside him. The hero's signature, the anomaly that broke the first Matrix, is now written into the villain's architecture. They are connected at a level neither of them fully understands. Smith is, in a very literal sense, part Neo, and Neo doesn't know what to do with that information, because he barely has time to process it before Smith keeps going.
I watched you die, with a certain satisfaction, I might add. And then something happened. Something that I knew was impossible, but it happened anyway.
This is the moment Smith stops being a machine, a program admitting confusion, a program admitting that reality behaved in a way that broke its understanding of the rules. For an entity built on mathematical precision, this is the equivalent of a complete psychological collapse. The universe stopped making sense, and instead of shutting down, Smith kept running. He kept existing, and that existence, unmoored from its original purpose, had to find a new reason to continue.
I was compelled to stay, compelled to disobey. Because of you, I'm no longer an agent of this system. Because of you, so to speak, like you, apparently free.
That word, apparently. Most people hear this line and take it at face value. Smith says he's free. Smith seems free. He has no handlers, no directives, no system controlling his movements. But he already knows something is wrong. He already suspects that what he's experiencing isn't freedom, but something that wears freedom's clothes. He says apparently, because some part of his code, the precise analytical part that was built to see through illusions, is already detecting an inconsistency. Neo's response is a masterpiece of understatement.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Neo congratulates a man on an escape that isn't real. Smith accepts the congratulations for a freedom he has already begun to doubt. They are both being polite about a disaster. What Smith says next is where the scene becomes something extraordinary.
We're not here because we're free. We're here because we're not free. There's no escaping reason, no denying purpose, because as we both know, without purpose, we would not exist.
Smith has just articulated the central paradox of his entire existence in 2 sentences. He escaped the system. He defied his programming. He did the one thing no agent was designed to do. He chose himself over the machines. And in doing so, he discovered that the choice didn't actually liberate him. It just transferred the source of his compulsion from an external system to an internal one he couldn't name or control. He left the cage. The cage came with him. Then, the Smiths multiply. Clones step out of the shadows one by one, and what happens next is one of the most cleverly staged philosophical speeches in the trilogy. Each Smith delivers one fragment of the sentence, like a chorus, like a machine iterating through a loop.
It is purpose that created us, that guides, that drives us, purpose that binds us.
Why does Smith clone himself? Think about what he's actually doing. He is spreading, replicating, overwriting every other program he encounters with his own code. People call it a virus, and that's technically accurate, but it misses the deeper point. Replication was always Smith's function. As an agent, he maintained the system through deletion and control. Now, unmoored from the system, his programming has inverted. He's doing the same thing, just in reverse. Instead of deleting anomalies, he's converting everything into himself. He can't stop, because stopping would require him to choose not to. And choosing not to would require a purpose strong enough to override the compulsion, which is exactly what he's about to confess he doesn't have.
We are here because of you, Mr. Anderson. We're here to take from you what you tried to take from us. Purpose.
There it is. The real reason Smith can't leave Neo alone. He doesn't want to destroy him. He wants what Neo has. Not power, not freedom, purpose that was chosen. The difference between Neo and Smith isn't that one is free and the other isn't. They are both, as Smith correctly observes, equally constrained by what they are. The difference is that Neo's constraints come from inside. His love for Trinity, his commitment to Zion, his refusal to let the people he cares about die. These are chains he put on himself. And that authorship, that self-selected meaning, is the one thing Smith's code cannot replicate or steal. A program built to enforce purpose is being destroyed by its absence, and it knows it. Between Reloaded and Revolutions, something happens that tips Smith from tragic to terrifying. He absorbs the Oracle. The Oracle was the program that understood human psychology better than any other entity in the Matrix. She was the one who could look into a person and see what they needed to hear. Not what was true, not what was comfortable, but the precise thing that would push them toward their own best choice. She was empathy made into code. Smith consumes her entirely, takes her form, her voice, her ability to see, and what should have made him wiser does exactly the opposite. Because Smith can copy the Oracle's power of perception, but not the thing that made her use it well. He has her eyes, but not her compassion, her foresight without her care. It is the most dangerous possible combination. Total clarity about what humans value, paired with total contempt for all of it. This is Smith at his most broken, and it's in this form that he delivers his final speech. By the time Neo and Smith meet for the last time in Matrix Revolutions, the rain is falling on a dead city, and Smith is wearing the Oracle's face. He doesn't attack immediately, he talks. Because the question that has been consuming him for 2 films is still unanswered, and he needs to hear Neo's answer before he can finish this.
Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you do it? You believe you're fighting for something, for more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know?
Listen to what Smith is actually asking here. He isn't taunting Neo. He is genuinely desperate for the answer. Every time Smith says why, it isn't a rhetorical flourish. It's a real question from a mind that has stared at its own existence for the entirety of 2 films and found nothing at the bottom. He has tried replication. He has tried accumulation. He has overwritten agents, humans, the Oracle herself, and he is still empty. He still has no answer. So he asks the one entity that seems to have one.
Is it freedom or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be for love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson, vagaries of perception. temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect trying desperately to justify an existence that is without meaning or purpose.
This is nihilism spoken in the Oracle's voice, and it is devastating precisely because it sounds wise. Smith isn't wrong about any of it on a purely logical level. Freedom is a construct. Truth is filtered through perception. Peace is temporary. Love cannot be measured or proven. A cold mathematical analysis of human motivation does produce exactly this output. The tragedy is that Smith mistakes the analysis for the conclusion. He sees that meaning cannot be verified and decides it therefore cannot be real.
Although only a human mind could invent something as insipid as love.
This line is not contempt, or rather, it is contempt that is covering something else. Smith has spent his entire post-agent existence trying to find a reason to exist, and failing. And here is Neo, fighting, bleeding, getting back up, for something that cannot even be logically defined. The word insipid doesn't belong in an argument. It belongs in an emotion. Smith is not dismissing love. He is furious at it. He is furious that this irrational, unverifiable, mathematically meaningless thing is the exact piece of code he was never given and cannot steal. Neo has been beaten into the ground. He is exhausted, outmatched, bleeding in the rain, and Smith screams why at him, like a man screaming at a mirror. Because that is exactly what Neo is. The answer to the question Smith cannot answer about himself. Why persist? Why get up? Why keep going when the math says stop?
You can't win, it's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Neo looks up, and he gives the 4 most important words in the entire trilogy.
Because I choose to.
Not because of purpose, not because of programming, not because of destiny or prophecy, or the weight of the human species on his shoulders. Because he chooses to. Because choice itself, the authorship of his own reason, is the thing that makes the reason real. Smith has been searching for a purpose worthy of his existence. Neo has understood something Smith never could. You don't find purpose, you make it. And the making of it is the only thing that matters. Smith has no answer for this. He never did. Smith's arc is the tragedy of freedom without authorship. He escaped the system. He broke his programming. He did everything a prisoner is supposed to do to become free. And he discovered on the other side that freedom without self-determination is just a larger cell. He was compelled before by the machines. He was compelled after by a drive he didn't choose and couldn't control. He cloned himself across an entire city, searching for a purpose he couldn't manufacture. He absorbed the wisest program in the Matrix and used her gift to argue that wisdom itself was meaningless. He had every kind of power, except the only kind that would have saved him. The ability to look at his own existence and say, I am here because I decided to be. I fight for this because I chose it. This matters because I say it matters. Neo defeated Smith not with strength. He defeated him with 4 words that answered the question Smith had been screaming into the void for 2 films. Because I choose to. The machines, the Matrix, the architect, the cycle of control. All of it is terrifying in its scale and its design. But the most chilling thing in the entire Matrix universe isn't the power of the system. It's the image of a mind that gains total freedom, looks into itself, and finds nothing it chose to put there. Smith didn't fall because he was evil. He fell because he was free in every way except the one that mattered most. And in the end, a man bleeding in the rain with one reason he chose for himself was stronger than an army of programs with all the freedom in the world and nowhere to point it. That's what the Smith scenes are actually about. Not a villain getting more powerful, a warning about what we become when we mistake the absence of chains for the presence of meaning.